Hello, everyone. How are you? Here's my group F, the smartest group of all, right? I said the same thing to groupies, so don't get excited. I can't pick sides. I need to push a button here. Okay. You know, we since, you'll notice I'm wearing the microphone, so I am starting to record. So I will put these sessions up. It takes a while to process them, but generally speaking, they're up the same day. You'll find a link will appear on the same day as I record it. So if you wanted to review something from today, you would go to Thursday, and you would find the link there. And it will begin with the word screencast. Screencast is a word we use. We basically podcast with illustrations. So it's not a video cast because it doesn't have my face. But you will, in the video, you will see anything that appears up on this screen. That means you don't have, worry about, whether or not you have the resource I'm using, because everything I use is right here. And then underneath, you find a link to that video. Now, it's not expected that you would be sadistic enough to go home and watch the entire hour or 80 minutes again. That would be pretty sick. What you want to do, you want to scroll through it and find to refresh your memory or whatever you need. Okay. Number two, you may have noticed some of your colleagues throughout Europe walking around with a little gray flash. A lot of the other LCs. Why are you going to sleep so fast? Okay. Yeah, gotta fix that set. Some of your colleagues have these because the other LC instructors have passed them out. And I had that option as well, but I'm going to tell you why I didn't pass them. You all have access to OneDrive. And if I give you a flash drive, you have access to a flash drive. Let's put files on both for a moment. And if I lose my flash drive, I lose my files. I can't lose my OneDrive, and I can't lose my files. I can lose access to it if I forget the password. Which one? Yeah, I will give it a flash drive. I have them in my desk. We're going to use them in operating system because we have some specific things we do with flash drives in operating systems. But the last is to use a flash drive that looks the same as everyone else's. Store all the most important files you have, okay? Plus, you'll see one, you'll go, I lost mine, and there'll be like 3 or 4 in a basket somewhere. Lost, right? And what I taught you yesterday about putting a flash drive into a computer that you don't know what it is? We don't want to do that because people drop these flash drives out there somewhere. You'll pick them up, put on software on your computer that you don't know is going on your computer, and all of a sudden they're watching you through your camera. So, your choice, but I'll go with the cloud computing option. Guess what we're going to be talking about today? Amy, did you have a question along the way? No, there's clearly really good options for a flash drive. For instance, if I'm a flash drive and run across to Kinko's and get it printed, or I want to take it to another computer and transfer it, it has some really good benefits. It's just that I've seen too many people or break them. Okay, have like a keychain holder on the end, and then people put 50 keys on their keychain. So the computer, and after a while, the flash drive starts to bend, and then all of a sudden it breaks a connection because there's a solid connection there, and then it doesn't work So there's lots of reasons why, and people walk away and leave flash drives in the computers, not remembering to take them out. So, I mean, they are wonderful devices, and some of them are so small you can't even see them. Okay, when I plug in some of my flash drives, you can't even tell they're in the computer unless you look really close, see a little tiny bump off the side. Okay, so just be aware of that, and don't be afraid to use them. But remember, you OneDrive, and you also can create a Dropbox or a Google Drive or a mega file drive that you can use as well. Okay, all right. So now, questions? Anybody? I no. No, it doesn't. In fact, it's the most basic of flash drives. It's 8 gigabytes, which is a pretty good amount, not a great amount. And it doesn't have any hook or thing for a strap or anything. So, sometimes you can wear them around your neck or your wrists or something. It's cheap. They're in my desk. So if you guys want one, catch it in the break or afterwards, and I'll give you one. Yeah. There you go. See, I mean, it's an emergency device, right? As long as you can keep track of it. We could get some eventually. I'll go to one out. I mean, there's some really sandpapery paper towel over next door. Or they'll just take about a half inch of skin off your face. You guys ready to talk about OneDrive a little bit? And cloud computing in general. And this is a fairly broad concept. And interestingly enough, now that I think of it, I found and read an article at lunch that deals with cloud computing. And I put it on my phone. So let me see if I can quickly bring it up on the screen or if it'll make me switch devices. Let's see. Will it override? It will, sort of. Oh, it split the screen with them. That's kind of interesting. So, but I don't like what it's doing. It's a little dark. So let me take this one off and see if that'll help. All right, there we go. So now you can see my phone. Isn't that fun? All right, I can make anything on my phone show up on the screen. Okay, so let me. Whoops, I wanted to be there. So let me go to that email. It says, "Did you know how to use the cloud backup?" Now, this is of course referring to using cloud storage as backup. But what I really liked about it was the way they defined it. All right, so let's go down here. This app is how I get most, if not all, of my news. Tap the banner. Okay, fine. I'm going to do whatever it tells me to do. All right, let's see if I have it now. Okay, so I'm going to read from my phone. It's a little difficult to read up there, but that's okay. Cloud computing has become popular in the recent years. The term cloud comes from referring to a large swarm. Isn't that a great word? Swarm of objects. And it made me think, have you ever seen like a swarm of birds, bees, and how they move and but they're all together, tightly knit and everything. So that's a cloud, okay? From a distance resembles a cloud. In the case of cloud computing, it refers to a large group of computers, including smartphone and tablets, that work together towards a certain goal. I thought, wow, isn't that a great definition? Is this any better? Oh, it's a little bigger, but it doesn't show up on the screen. Darn. Okay. Glitches. I can kind of zoom in a little bit. But look at what some of the things we can do in the cloud. We now can access applications. Okay? The cloud has applications. We have a word for that, or an acronym. That's AAS. The S's are capital. Anyone ever heard of SaaS? Software as a, this is a business term to know, isn't it? It says to you in a meeting, our SaaS applications need a little bit of support, or we need to do this or that, and you're one of the programming team, and you don't know what SaaS means? Embarrassing. Okay? This is software as a service. This is really new. This is really innovative. You were growing up and going to school, software was something you downloaded and installed on a computer. Maybe not even downloaded. Maybe what you had to do was put in a disk, floppy disk, a CD or DVD, okay, maybe even a flash drive. Okay. So now you can use it to collaborate. That means that France and I can write in the document at the same time. I think the two of us could do that with a piece of paper and 2 pens. I think, yeah, no, that's fine. Give me but the computer can handle all that chaos. All right. And also you can collaborate by writing something and then leaving it there for others to come and add to. Wikipedia, right? There it exists for the whole world. And for a simple price of $0, you can sign up. Sorry about that. I talk with my. You can sign up to become a Wikipedia editor, and then you can go in, edit, and contribute to documents, which is why we don't like it as a primary resource. Okay, shouldn't be used as a primary resource is like firsthand. You tell me something, I know it's true because you told me and I trust you. Wikipedia, you told him something, and these guys changed it a bit. Now I'm reading it, and I don't know what your original intention was. So, got to be careful of that. All right, so we can do that. We can store content. We can monitor devices. It's the cloud that makes it possible for the refrigerator to send you an email telling you need eggs and milk. Did you know they can do that? Okay. This is called the little o, capital P, capital I, little o, capital P, another term. Internet of Things. Why do we call it things? Because they're things. I mean, they're almost undefinable. I mean, think about it. A coffee maker that's connected to the internet. Okay? An iPad in the kitchen that's only used for cooking and news and looking things up. A refrigerator that has a camera that looks and sees an empty space where you normally keep the milk and says, guy needs milk. Okay. Internet of Things. Is that what you asked? IoT. Little o. IOT. I and T capital. Okay. Sorry about that. We can use it to communicate. How many of you do finances on your computer, but it's not stored on your computer? Anyone? I do. TurboTax. I used to buy the program and install it on my computer and did my tax. Now, I use TurboTax's online service, and they store all my records for me. Okay, you have to decide, your own personal level with privacy, right? But I figure if this is the stuff I'm sending to the feds and the state, it's having them store it's not a big deal. And they also have an incredible reputation for security. Incredible. Quicken has been around, Intuit has been around for many, many years. They have not had problems with security. So that's a good thing. Okay, not every company can say that. Colin Powell can't say that. Did you hear? Why do you think his email got hacked? He became a target, didn't he? Because of he got involved in the Hillary Clinton email stuff. And so make very curious how these things happen. Who's next? Who's get their email hacked? Okay. Okay. Did you hear about they think that the Russians have hacked medical institutions records and are pulling up files on our Olympic athletes to show that they were given a pre to these drugs legally that they feel that the Russians didn't get? What kind of a world do we live in when stuff in the cloud and we know more than we might otherwise have known? It's an interesting dilemma. We might have, in another world time, we might never have even thought about that. We would have assumed, oh, it's simply impossible to get that information. But now there are people out there that say, if you say impossible, I'll be the one that'll do it. If you come see me at the tools for hacking emails and communications. And these are used by white hat or good guy hackers. So these are special programs that do certain brute force hacking, where you saw this maybe in TVs and movies, where they start going through numbers and letters and symbols until the first one clicks in, and you wait until it finds something that matches and it clicks in. Yeah, like a brute force. That's where we keep throwing data at the computer until it says, I give up, here's the password, I haven't heard that term. That may be true, but I haven't heard it. Yeah, okay. So cloud computing lets us do so many things. Your identity is in the cloud. Because if a government if the feds or are putting their stuff in the cloud, you have a grocery card that gets you discounts at the grocery store, right? So every time you go in and use that, what you bought, when you bought it, and how much of it you bought. Now, you have that information for everyone who goes in your store. You can do predictions. Okay, the obvious would be, well, people seem to buy Halloween stuff if we put it out in April. April, right? I mean, Halloween comes out in what, August now or July? They learn our behaviors, they learn our dispositions. But where's that information? It's all in the cloud. It's all in the cloud for someone to hack if they want to. Now, most, if not all, of the information, there's probably 99% of it is perfectly safe. But every now and then, we spring a leak, right? Somebody finds a loophole. When we update software, sometimes we make a mistake and we don't have room to go back and fix it right away. Somebody exposes that mistake to us. We come back with a patch. Apple had to do this recently. If you had an iPhone, they had on the news and everything, got to do this update, because somebody figured out how to hack phones, and we fixed it. But if you don't update, you might be the person that gets. All right. So, cloud computing is used for everything from hosting your pictures, running complicated functions and calculations, okay, to backup. And it's backup that I think is the most important thing. As individuals, we do not have a way to protect data. It is affected by power. Turn the power off, what happens to some data? Okay. Short-term memory in your computer, RAM, only works when there's power. Well, guess what? That's kind of the way it is with a lot of devices. You can't read a drive without power. The data doesn't disappear. RAM disappears not because RAM can't hold the information. It's told to erase it. It's get it. So when the computer starts up the next time, it's empty and can be loaded with the most important stuff. But it's basically the same type of memory that we have in a flash drive or on our phone. And as you probably know, we have little tiny batteries, the size round cell batteries, okay, that keep things working when you shut the power off. Okay, so there's lots of ways to maintain your data. However, I know a lot of people who back up their computers. They have their computer at home on their desk, and next to their desk is an external hard drive. And what does the external hard drive have on it? The backup to their computer. So I go rob their house, and I go, oh, here's the computer. I'll take that. Oh, I better not take his backup. He's going to need that. Chance. So what's good as a backup if I can take it? Do hard drives fail? Can you tell when a hard drive is about to fail? No. And when it does, it's often too late. And people put this data on a hard drive until one day they make it work. And they go, well, I'll take it to somebody to fix it. And they say, sure. It'll be about $1,500. Okay? Because I got to put people in white suits and masks in a perfectly sterile environment in order to open up your hard drive, take out the platen, put them on another one, and spin it up and get your data off for you. That's very labor intensive. This is really hard. Yes. Right. Yeah. Wow. That's true. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So back today, if you're going to do it right, you should put it somewhere where you can eliminate the failure options. The cloud is still a computer with a hard drive that can, with me? Here's the thing. They're checking. Whoever you are saving to in the cloud is checking, and they're backing up the backup and backing up the backup, which you're not doing, right? And then if the hard drive fails, they can pull it out, put another one in, and clone the old one back to the new one, which you're not do. So it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? We can eliminate frustration, headaches, and mistakes by using a cloud-based system. Remember, the reputation of the cloud rests with the company that provides service. Do you think Google is going to take a chance on millions of people not being able to get to their data? Not a chance. That would take them from the number 1 to the number 999, and they'd be out of business overnight. Okay? Amazon, same thing. They have a huge network, and all they do is store data. You thought they sold books. They sell data storage to companies, businesses that use those systems. Okay. All right, so let's break it up a little bit. Did you know that YouTube is a cloud-based service? Yes, it is. Name another one. Facebook is a cloud-based service. Square, which is a What is Square? Okay. The truth is, where'd Air Server go? No, it just went down. Hold on one second. What what service can you think of that is not cloud-based? No, if you make a website, it's in the cloud. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, if you haven't put it there, it's not there. You're right. Okay. All right. Right. Want to know the truth? No, that's not entirely true. But although this is a fairly complicated topic that I'll go through a little bit of it with you. When you put something in the trash can and you empty trash can, is it deleted? Good. It's not. You know what happens is you're a piece of data. And you're a piece. So I put you in the trash can. I'm going to write on you delete. Now the computer says that that's a file that I can overwrite with another file. I save you and it goes to the hard drive. Only if your hard drive is full or close to it will it say, I have no room. Where are those delete files? Okay, I'm going to take you, I'm going to put him where you are, and then you are definitely gone. All right? But most people, right? So there's process never happens. So you go and sell your computer thinking, oh, there's nothing on it, and somebody with the right tools is going to get everything you ever did off the computer. Right. Right. That's a setting you have to select with those drives. And what Ramey's referring to, the file can be deleted. It's not like we can just erase it. File is made up of data, zeros and 1110000. The way we erase the file is to switch everything off. A 1 is on and a 0 is off. So every time there's a 1, we write 0, and it's like all zeros. Now that file is unreadable. It's gobbledygook, right? So if I come back and put in a few more 1s, but they're different ones, now I can read that file. Remember, everything on a hard drive is ones. If I switch one tiny number from a 0 to a 1, the file can't be read. That's simple. Okay? All right. Let's watch it. I noticed some people had a really big lunch, so I want to make sure that I don't lose you.
What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is a revolution in how computing power is delivered to business.
My bad. All right. I'm going to start it over. I'm going to try to start it over. Okay. Here we go. Here. Come on. Let me touch you. Come on. There it goes. What? Give me a break. Okay. Hold on. Okay, Bob. if I do that, I can't make it larger. All right, hold on. I had it the first time. Okay. This is very frustrating. Come on, show me the video. Yes, thank you very much. All right. So what did we learn from that? Anyone want to share? What did we learn from that video? There were some new terms. There were some new concepts. Raising your hand. Right, right. The cloud takes advantage and provides services. So let's relate that to the real world. Let's say that Europe is a business, right? We're just getting, and we decide, well, we're a technology business. We're going to need some things. Let's start with infrastructure. That means I need computers. I need a network. I need servers. I need switches, like right over here behind Brandon. I need devices, don't I? And they cost money. All right. Oh, I build all this, buy all this, put it in my building, and now what do I have to do? Not, what do I have to do with this info? Let's stay on infrastructure for a second. What do we have to do to support that infrastructure? Power and people. Why do I need? I need them to make sure my equipment works. I want them to fix it when it doesn't. I want them to tune it. I want them to keep it smooth. I have to invest not just in hardware, but people. I have IT specialists. I have to have help desk specialists. I have to have all these people that are all in charge of the infrastructure. That's not even my business, is it? My business is selling widgets. And I don't know anything about that infrastructure. All right. Now we have a platform. PC is a platform. Mac is a platform. iOS is a platform. Android is a platform. Which one do I pick? If I don't know that stuff, I need people. Okay? And the more people I need, the more cost it is for me to make widgets. So now I have my hardware infrastructure. It's probably PC like I'm sitting here in front of right now, and then all of a sudden, what? What's the next layer? Software. Now, software free? It can, right? There's free stuff out there. So I have a choice. I can go with open source or free software, which is unsupported, which means I have people, more people, right? Or if I buy the software, pay their people to help me. Starting a business can be very expensive, and I haven't even made a widget yet. Okay? Oh, someone comes along to me and says, well, instead of you putting in servers, you can pick any computer you want. It doesn't matter if it's Mac, Apple, iOS, or Android. And here's what we'll provide for you for this money, this fee. You can use our servers to store, move your data around. And I think immediately, wow, that means I don't have to air condition that room, and I don't have to pay people to take care of my pay that against the cost that they're charging for the service. Okay, and now I'm thinking, well, what do you mean I don't have to buy software and I don't have to install it? I don't have to maintain it? Now it's starting to sound pretty good, isn't it? It's one stop. Everything is there. So if I am a business, this is a pretty sweet sounding idea. Pretty sweet. And you could see the advantages of it. Now, not every business is doing this because some businesses were around before the cloud, weren't they? So what did they invest in? Infrastructure and people. So if they were to switch to the cloud, they would put some people out of work, and they'd have a lot of equipment they'd have to get rid of that's worth nothing on the open market probably. But there are reasons to keep infrastructure working. Your costs have already repaid themselves. The return on investment. My investment was $1 million, but over a period of time, I've sold $2 million worth of widgets. Okay, right now. may not want to switch to the cloud, or I may want to do it gradually, a little at a time. Can you explain cloud computing to a 5-year-old? Come on, you can do it. Do it. Explain cloud computing to a 5-year-old in their language. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Pretty good. That was really good. Yeah. 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 See, you're going to learn from me that I will sometimes explain things you were a 5-year-old, but you hopefully don't know it. You don't feel like a 5-year-old. And I'm not doing it to make you feel like a 5-year-old. But if you think about the power of communication, people can come to you and ask a question and you can explain it. You can sense how much information they need. You could say, well, you could talk to one person. I could say, Carmen, for example, we could be in a meeting and I could say, well, Carmen, what's the status of our SaaS and our PaaS right now? Right? Awesome. Everything's perfect, she says. And someone else in the room is going, SaaS, PaaS, what's that all about? Turn to them and say, it's an acronym for software as a service. It's cloud-based. Oh, okay. Now, what do I say to a kid? Well, I got a 5-year-old. He's not going to understand SaaS. He's not going to understand software as a service. No, your parents might not understand what that means, right? Your brothers and sisters, uncles and aunts, everything. What you have to say is that it is software that's not, but that you can use on your computer. It's like an online calculator. There's no physical calculator, but there's a calculator that you can use. Okay? It's a book that I can read, but I don't own the book. I go to the library and get the book. There's no physical book. How's it possible? This is call it software as a service. We call it platform as a service, and we call it infrastructure as a service because service $sign. Okay? Service means I'm going to charge you for this. Why is it important for you to know this? Some of you might be thinking that. You might think, well, it's all fun and dandy and all. I'm having a great time. Others are thinking, what's this got to do with apps? What's got to do with me being a programmer? What's this got to do with IT? Anything. You don't have to stand up. Relax. Right. Ooh, what was that? The Good Bible? It's a really good book. Okay. Go ahead.
So all the cost that they have printing and everything, but if you go to cloud, it's just a PDF file. So kind of they're giving you just access to that PDF file for $5 or $6.
Well, that's it. Also, that's really a good point, right? Think about this for a minute. If you want to publish, I'll be right to you. If you want to publish a book today, the cost of a physical publication, hardcover and everything, is going up because fewer people are doing it. My dissertation was published and bound like a big giant book, okay? More like an encyclopedia, but and it cost me. I had to pay for that, but also put online so that people who wanted my dissertation, you can't just go to a library. Not every library my dissertation and put it on their shelf like a book, but they make them available digitally. You know what? When this first got started, there was a lot of controversy over what it should cost. Think about it. Do I publish 1 million Harry Potter books? Or do I put one Harry Potter PDF on a server and give it to everyone who wants a copy? You can see the difference in dollars, can't you? Huge. It's still an issue. In fact, there was a time that there was actually a class action suit amongst publishers and Apple for what they were charging for e-books, e-material. And Apple lost for less than the publishers. They wanted more money. And so they didn't want this discrepancy. So that's one of the things that is so important. The cloud. The cloud can reduce the cost of operations and things for us. Yes. You picked that up from the video, didn't you? That's it. That's very good. Well, that's insightful because that was mentioned in the video as well. You know, when we talk about those companies that were around before the cloud, sooner or later, that Windows 98, kind of like give it, or Windows XP, yeah, either one. They're still out there. There are computers that are still out there running Windows 95, Windows XP. They're unsupported because Windows says that's even to pay attention to. Okay, we've got to put our energy into the new stuff. But when something runs through its life cycle and it's time to repair or replace, that's when you think cost. What is it going to cost me to replace this infrastructure? 10 years ago, it might have cost me $1 million. Today, it might cost me $1.5 million, $1.7 million for the same thing. But I can go to a software as a service provider and maybe get the same level of service for a fraction of that cost. Okay? All right. Is cloud computing up there? 5-year-olds it's up there, don't they? Does it matter? Nah, doesn't matter if it's up there. Do you know what the greatest quote from a 5-year-old was? They went up and they go, "Oh, Dad, no clouds, no data." Is that cute? I mean, seriously. I mean, if there's no cloud, where's your stuff? Right? And, you know, so I guess Dad said, "Well, I guess I don't have to go to work today." You know, no, if there's no clouds, you know, there's no data. What happens if you have like really big stormy clouds and it starts raining lightning? Is that too much data? So what we do is we tell our 5-year-old cloud is a metaphor. And believe it or not, 5-year-olds understand metaphors. If you, it's as if it were up there. Because if I'm in a cloud, where I am. This planet is so big, I have to go a really long way before I can't see that cloud, right? But technically, it's always there. It's moving around. But really, what you need to know is this room could be a cloud. It could be full of servers. There are places on this planet, underground, above ground, on the ocean, in ships, in the balloons, floating. Okay, there are places all over the world. All they are row upon row upon row upon row of computers, servers, duplicating, redundantly collaborating data, sending data out, selling things, showing you things. You want to test your comprehension of this. When you get a chance, Google some of the following. How many servers does Amazon have? How many servers does Apple have? How many servers does Google use? How many servers does Google buy to replace the ones that they're constantly rolling in and out? Okay? And you got to remember, this is a massive industry. 9? How much? A year or a day? Or total estimate of what they have? Guesstimate. Okay, did you hear what he said about energy use? They know exactly how much power a server uses. So they go to Google's power bill and they use that information to calculate. Machines are being run based on that power, about the lights and the other things. But nonetheless, Google doesn't tell us. They don't want us to know. These are trade secrets. Because if Google said, well, we actually have 3 million, and Amazon says we have 900,000, doing better than you, that's pretty good. So it's a trade secret. Think about it. A million computers to handle how many billion people are on the planet? What was that? Seven people per computer per server? It's amazing. And that was when? Oh my God. Well, we know that's got to be changed then. Yeah, yeah. It's a massive amount. Okay. So if you're a company that makes computers, you're not going out of business anytime soon, are you? No. Company makes right of them, right? And people say, how come hard drives fail? Well, when you're punching out 1 million a day, there's the odds that one of them's going to have a flaw go up, right? The fact that yours doesn't fail is something less than a miracle when you're producing. Wow. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Isn't that amazing? And then we have to deal with this. Data is, how fast does data travel? Speed of light, which is what? Speed of light. Anybody remember? 186,000 miles per second. 186,000 miles per second. So is it any wonder that when I save a file to the cloud and that cloud happens to be in Uzbekistan, that it gets there at the same time and comes back in a second? I mean, Uzbekistan is not 186,000 miles. That's how fast this stuff travels. And the only way infrastructure. Remember, the internet, I know I'm throwing stuff at you, but you don't mind. The internet is actually computers, hardware, servers, and wires. The web, or the World Wide Web, is content, web pages, websites, and so forth. So when we talk about the infrastructure of the internet, sometimes it's good wires and sometimes it's bad wires. Sometimes it's new wires and sometimes old wires. Sometimes it's fast wires and sometimes it's slow wires. So depending on what comes, that's when your data. Any questions about cloud? We've pretty much tackled it. What's the most important thing you can do right now in the cloud? Backup. Every person in this room could up a way to back up your computers or devices to some cloud-based entity. Macs can set up iCloud, iOS can set up iCloud, Androids can save to what, Google Drive? Yeah, brought it up. Okay, that's unlimited storage, right? That's $60 per year. How many can buy a 1 terabyte hard drive for $60? I don't think so. Not a really good one. So for $60 a year, you could put 100 terabytes up there. And who's going to replace the drive if it fails if you own it? You are, right? If you own it. If you own it, it's your job. But this way, it's their job. That's a pretty good deal, isn't it? What's that, $5 a month? You give up a cup of coffee for $5 a month, right? Okay. Some people go to Starbucks. Okay. Okay. So you found unlimited at Google for $60. I have 1 terabyte and I pay $12. So it would make sense for me if I needed it. Remember, it said in the movie, you pay for what you used. So you can, the nice thing about this is, here, let's say you go out and buy a 250 megabyte hard drive, megabyte, right? And all of a sudden you fill it up. What are your options for expansion? Buy another hard drive. You can't just go in there with an air and go, and all of a sudden you got a 500 gigabyte hard drive, right? But the cloud does that. The cloud can take somebody on a computer, literally takes a slider and goes, bzzz, oh, you're now at 4 terabytes. You're now going to be billed for 4 terabytes, and we're going to make more money, and you have 4 terabytes worth of space. You can't do that yourself. You can't do a little slider on your 250 and make it a terabyte or 4. So that's another advantage to cloud, right? If you need more, you'll pay for more, but it's so easy to do that. Now, what actually happens? They don't actually inflate the drive. What they do is they move you to a larger hard drive by copying your data over to the bigger one. You could have done the same thing. Oh, I'm going to go out and buy a 4 terabyte hard drive. Now I'm going to copy everything off the 250 and put it on the 4 terabyte, and then boom, 4 terabyte. But that's a lot of work for you. And frankly, we might make a mistake. Right. That's right. And so many things that can go wrong. You want to take the risk out of it. You want to take the risk out of it. There's also programs like Backblaze, Crash Plan, and what they do is they're apps that run on your computer. And you just turn them on and tell them, okay, I want my document folder, I want my desktop, whatever things you want backed up. Pictures, movies, whatever. Then you go to sleep and you wake up and you go to sleep, wake up, and you go to sleep, you wake up, and all the time these days are going by, what's your computer doing? Backing up, syncing data in the background. You never know what's going on and you never miss anything. Now somebody steals your computer. No panic. You go to another computer, log into that site, and there's all your stuff. My applications. Okay. After all, we don't want to back up applications. We can reinstall applications. We can download those, right? Okay. All right. Okay. Had enough of this? We want to do another round? One setback would be if you signed up with a company that went out of business. That could be a big problem. 2, hacking. If a company's security level were somehow compromised and your stuff was hacked, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't sue them. You can't do anything because when you sign up, you know those things, the agreements we always class to read. Very best, but you know what happens. They're going to be that unless they are culpable, unless there's something they did to cause that. You know, if it was an employee who gave out a password, if there's something they did, yeah. Now, Dropbox had a problem. Employee kept using the same password and never changed their password. And so what happens is hackers who are watching what's going on, it's kind of like they're standing outside looking through the window, and they notice that everybody in the room over here, you guys all sat there and changed your password. because it's that time of the month, which is a dumb thing. We all get notified at the same time to change your password. So all of a sudden, somebody monitoring is going to go, oh, look, it's password changing day. One changed passwords, but 22 did not. Oh, interesting. So old data goes into archives. Archives sometimes are less protected, and some they can go back in and fish for that unchanged password in hopes it's still a good password. Stuff like that happens. You do have to have the internet connection for this to occur. The nice thing about that it can occur over Wi-Fi or Ethernet, and so you can always go to a place. Like if your house is down, you can go to your neighbors, or you can go to a McDonald's or a Starbucks. However, a cautionary term here, and that is public Wi-Fi that doesn't have a password should not be used for banking and transferring your data files and things like that. You might go to a doctor's office and they have Wi-Fi, but they have the password up on the wall for everyone to use. The password indicates a level of encryption, not just a password to block you from using it. Passwords come with security. So if you had to go to Starbucks and Starbucks said, if you want to use Wi-Fi, check with the barista and they'll give you the password, at least you know the password. Only those people might change the password every week or whatever. That's a level of safety protection. So passwords are good things. You can never connect to a public Wi-Fi anywhere that has no lock or no protection, because I can name that anything I want. Okay? One of my neighbors, very man, set up his home Wi-Fi, and instead of calling it home net, home whatever, or leaving default, the cable company puts on it, he put FBI security van. Oh, surveillance, FBI surveillance van. Like the FBI would actually say, yeah, but it's like, it's fun. Looking, oh, look, and it's not locked. It's free. FBI surveillance van. You know what the common one is for people that are trying to hack into your computer? ET Wi-Fi. And how often do you see that? A lot. You can name it anything you want. So how do you know if it's the real thing? You don't. That's good. That's good. Yes. That would be like hotels and stuff do that. Other companies do that. Yep. Yes, we do. We do here. If you are on the guest Wi-Fi or the first time you go into the student Wi-Fi, well, it is and it isn't. I mean, we're using a level of WAP, wide area protection. So, I mean, it's 128-bit encryption, which is standard right now. That could be hacked, but without going into the details, it's very difficult. Very difficult. Okay. All right. So, look at your course outline for today. There is one assignment. And that assignment is in the form of a discussion. And even though a discussion forum is like all of us talking about the same thing, I'm kind of playing outside of the rules with this. And what I want to have, we're going to treat it like an assignment. Okay, you're going to watch David Pogue's video, and then you're going to come back and comment on it, read the instructions carefully, and you're going to post discussion way each of you can benefit from each of you. I can't take your assignments and make them visible to everybody. Okay? Right? Like the for me where you're submitting it now for the current event. If I wanted you to read each other, I'd have to like create a place and then share all the files and so forth. Not easy. But by using a discussion forum, you then can go and look at anybody else's stuff and learn from them and get their perspective. Right. Absolutely. Anytime I do an assignment that I want you all to see each other's work, this is really the only tool I have. It works pretty well because you can upload video, you can record your voice instead of type. There's lots of fun things you can do if you're willing to try. What, Carmen? The video upload or the video? It's a link. It's a link. So look for a link that you follow to go off to a website where the video is. Okay? All right. Now, this isn't due for a week. This is due a week from today, which means some of you might forget about it for a week, and I don't want you to do that. The reason I'm putting so much time is to give you a chance to watch the video and think about it. Don't feel rushed to respond. You can even talk to your friends and other classmates about it, share ideas. And then when you post, you're posting your best possible, right? The best commentary, the best everything you have, and that way we can all share and enjoy each other. Now, let's see. I wanted to do one more thing. Are you on the assignment? Okay, go to the bottom for me. And so, all right. Okay, go back. Okay, to the bottom. Back down to the bottom. All right, so click where it says write a comment. Good. It didn't come up in there. I wonder why. I thought we had it in there. Okay, it's not there. Okay, so when you want to submit, what do? Go down to the bottom where it says comment, right? If you click in that field, all your editing tools will pop up. And in those editing tools, you will find that you can do bold and italics, underline, stuff like that. And there's one over there. There's a spell check that may or may not work. But you see at the bottom, the first one is a way to add a file. The second one is a microphone, or a link. The second one, you can create a hyperlink. The third one, you can link to a resource like a web page. And the last one is audio or video recording. Literally, it can use your laptop computer to record your face and an audio as your submission instead of typing. Do I allow that? Oh my gosh, yeah. Who cares? You got to have a little fun once in a while, right? Okay. Plus, if you're sitting there talking, spell check's not an issue. Grammar might be. Okay. So don't slip into, don't forget to switch code here, code switch. Don't talk like you're talking to your yes, you got it. Okay. All right. And just remember, there's a 5-year-old somewhere listening. Okay, and it's me. Okay. I want to make sure that the way you explain things clear and fun. Sometimes when we use metaphors and similes and whatever the other one is that starts with an A. Analogy. Thank you. It comes from Akila. Yeah, when you use those things, I mean, they're very useful tools. Something is as this, something is like this. That's how we learn. And that's how we understand things. When we talk about data in the hardware, it's not running around on the motherboard. We talk about roads and highways. Okay, so we think about out here on I-85. Okay, and you come in the morning, and that's really slow. And data like that. All of a sudden, it's going 5 miles an hour. Not good. But if I at 4 in the morning, you can go through as fast as you want if you can't get caught, right? Sometimes we talk about data moves like we do highways and roads and congestion. How many lanes there are, okay, for data to get through. If I-85 was going, wouldn't happen, would it? If it were 10 lanes going one way and 10 coming the other, it's what, 5 or 6? And I don't know altogether, yeah. Yes, 200 times. Yeah, yeah. Yes, that's been done. So it's like cut instead of copy, right? That's cut and paste. Right. That means it's not non-volatile, and that could be a problem. And so, do we think about Star Trek, right? And they're beaming from one place to another. Once the beam starts, if it doesn't finish, you're gone. Whereas in Star Trek, they cheat a little bit because then they kind of pull it back and save you. But the truth is, what happens in that quantum environment, and they're really talking about things smaller than a cell and atoms being moved, is literally particle distribution at the speed of light. So, yeah, but they also have proven that something can be in two places at the same time, and therefore, if I'm in two places at the same time and I touch my left shoulder, it simultaneously happens in the other place at the same time. Yeah, so they've done that as well. Looking up. Of course. Yeah, I just yeah, that's true.
Double slit experiment if you want to start
It's very complicated if you follow it like through a news service or something like Flip, whatever. They kind of talk to us like we're 5-year-olds. Makes it easier to understand because I read that stuff all the time because okay, all right. So for the last 10 minutes or so of class, if you want to go and watch the video or if you want to do something for another class, you can because I've covered what I need to do. Tomorrow, prepared, start right away, right off the get-go with your patients. And if I, for some reason, don't get through everybody, panic, I'll slide over to another next week. Don't know which one, but I will. But at any rate, if you are ready, when you come in, you can let me know if you want to go first or last or whatever. You're going to want me to bring up a web page or a video, put it in an email and send it to me. I'll hold on to it. And then when it's your turn, I'll go to that email, just pop in the clicks and bring you up to whatever you want to show. Or put it on a flash drive or put it in your OneDrive or okay. We'll turn off the recording. Go ahead, Matthew. Yes. Mm-hmm.